Are you ready to wish yourself leaner, greener, meaner, more wealthier, younger, firmer? Are you ready to wish your way through adventures and create something different new with a relationship? Do these sound like commitments or more like resolutions? So today, I want to talk to you about the difference between goal setting and making commitments to ourselves versus a resolution. As you may know, resolutions are 92% of people by February have lost interest in their goals, resolution goals. But 8%, that means 8% follow through with their resolution, which I call commitments, which we call goals. And so today we're going to be talking about that. And I'm also going to share with you a generous offer from a viewer, follower of the classroom, and lover of Dr. Lorraine Day. I'm going to tell you about a scholarship that we're going to be doing because of that person, and I'll share how the whole thing happened in a little bit. Hi, my name is Lillian McDermott, and I am a certified life coach and the host of the Lillian McDermott radio show. If this is your first time in the classroom, please know I've been waiting for you. Yep, that's right, you. This is a safe place where you can go when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways or natural ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, this topic came from someone that I know who works with me in the classroom. And I said, what are some of the topics that you would like to hear? What would you like for me to talk about? And so one of the things she said was, what about resolutions and keeping our resolutions? And so I said, what, goal settings? And she said, yeah, because we don't think of, we're so used to resolutions, like, oh, this year I'm going to lose 100 pounds, and this year I'm going to get a better job, and this year I'm going to do this and that, and then I'm going to go to the gym. And I remember distinctly going, because I've always gone to the gym. I've always had a gym membership. My husband said that too. Like when I turned 50, some of the consistency that in my life, I've always had a member, whether he attended or not, we always had a membership at the gym. And so I would go to the gym the beginning of January, and all the treadmills, almost every machine was full, and I had to wait. And I knew these were the resolution people, and I knew that if I'm just patient, I would get my treadmill back, or I would get my machine back without having to wait for it. And so as I started digging deeper into this, I noticed a trend. So I would say, oh, I look forward to February when the gym will be back to normal. I know that I didn't know about manifesting at the time, so maybe I'm at fault here. But the reality is that when we make a resolution without a goal or without a plan, it's just a wish. And a wish is a dream your heart makes when you're half asleep, which is how the song goes. So today, I want to share with you some of the things I do when I am focused on achieving a goal. And not just what I do, but others as well. I want to highlight Tim Ferriss today because he was the first one that I realized what happens when you're fearful of not attaining your goals or fearful of failure. So we're going to be discussing that too. Tim Ferriss is someone that you can also follow. I don't know him, and I don't know. I think we reached out to him a long time ago, but he's too big for the classroom, I guess. But I would love to interview him someday, and who knows, maybe I can make that part of my goals for 2024. Who knows? So today, we're going to start with the mindset. Always, when we start with anything, look at your intention. what is your intention? You can have an intention, or if you want to examine why something isn't happening in your life, you can also follow it to the end result. What is the end result? And based on your end result, you can follow your intention. So let's say I was going to go to the gym and I said everything. I said, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow morning. And I went to bed a little later than I wanted to. And the alarm went off a little earlier than I wanted it to. And I hit the snooze button over and over and over again. And then I ended up sleeping in and didn't go to the gym because now I have to do other things. Based on my results, my intention was to never go to the gym the next day. That is how you take a look, a real good look at yourself, is you based on your results. That is one way of figuring out what your intention is. So if you say, I'll be there for you, I'm going to show up for you, I know that you're counting on me, and then the next day you don't show up. Well, your intention was never to be there. You just wanted to look good, which is part of the ego. And we've done classes on that. And go check out at whenyouneedafriend.com. You can check out, some of the personal growth courses, the classes that I've done, and you can go to YouTube if they haven't deleted it yet. So I think we're now at 35 or 36 videos. I've lost count of how many videos they've removed. They just removed Andrea Beeman's from 2017. So I guess it was okay. That information was okay until just yesterday. But so check out those videos on the ego and how the ego keeps us stuck and hurt and angry and comparing ourselves to other and wanting to look good, but not really keeping your word on it. So those are just things about the ego, wanting to stay comfortable and being right, about everything that you believe. So when you start thinking about what is my mindset for 2024 or 2025 or what was my mindset in 2023, you can look based on your result that was your intention. Now, if your intention doesn't match what you want, then you're in your ego. You're in your ego. Your ego is going to keep you from having that. And it's just a matter of a shift and how you shift to your essence, and you have integrity with your word, and you make a plan and you keep your plan and you keep your word, come hell or high water, as the quote goes. And so so today I want to talk about these goals. What are some of these goals? And there's so many different kinds of goals. And when I coach somebody, I don't just coach them on their professional life or their spiritual life or their relationship life or giving back life. I coach it on all of those things. There's different aspects. I'm not just a mom. I'm not just a wife. I'm not just the host of the classroom. I'm not just those things. And when I hear somebody says, I'm just a greeter, or I'm just a housewife, or I'm just stay-at-home mom, that just is so demeaning. You're never just you're always, it's this, and I am this and I am that, not just and so as we look at our mindset and we say, okay, what do I want to accomplish for 2024? Let's say for example, there are short-term goals, there are long-term goals, there are personal goals, professional goals, financial goals, academic goals, and social goals. I want to have lots of friends by the end of 2024, or I want to focus on that. So those are the things that you can divide your life into little patterns. Okay, what do I want for this goal? Is there anything, is my life in balance? And the only thing that I want to work on, along with what I normally am doing, but I'm going to up the ante on my career goals, my professional goals, or my personal goals. I want to have a better relationship with my children or my spouse, a better relationship with my parents, depending on where you're at in your life. Those relationships are very important. And so if your goal is that and that only, that's good. But don't, you also keep all those other goals that you've had in your life. Stay responsible, keep your word, be impeccable with your word. So those are go without saying, that you continue improving upon what you're doing today. But on top of that, I want to achieve these things for this particular area of my life. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense to you. What is your goal for 2024? And notice I will not use the word resolutions. I do not make resolutions. I don't believe in resolutions. 8% of the population will achieve their resolutions because they became goals. How did they do it? A lot of people say, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a resolution. I'm gonna fail 92% of the chance I'm gonna fail. But what did the 8% do that is different, that you could do for 2024, that I can do for 2024? So as I share these with you, just know these are ways that I also achieve the goals that I want to achieve. Before I started doing the classroom, and it was a radio show, I had never done radio. I had never done anything. I had just appeared on a 30-minute interview. That was it. That was my training. And so it wasn't until, I was offered this that I absorbed all the stuff that I could absorb. And I still have room for improvement, lots of room for improvement. So those of you who say, oh, you do this or you do that, and you critique it, you know what? I'm aware of the things that I need to improve upon, and some of the things I care about and other things I don't care about. I would say for people that are critical of anyone who is stepping out and doing something different, that before they criticize that person or give them feedback, you start your own. You start your own. You start your own program, you start your own mission, you start your own charity, you start your own, because it's really easy to be critical of people who are already showing up in the arena. And so if you're not showing up in the arena and you're just watching on television, or you're just, like listening on the radio, or whatever it is that you're doing, then before you offer criticism or feedback, be mindful of what they're doing right. That's a totally different thing. But just take yourself out of the judgment portion and say, is this something I could do better? Is this something that I'd like to do? So instead of focusing on what somebody else is doing or not doing, a goal for you could be, I'm going to start my own podcast. Yeah, I think I can do better than Lillian McDermott. I know I can do better than Lillian McDermott. And do your own podcast. That's great, because in life, things always get expanded. Even Christianity was expanded. When people broke off and went in different directions, they started different things. And so it's wonderful to bring someone else and someone else's perspective into the world, to share and to grow with other people. So if that has been your goal, and instead of focusing on what other people are doing, start your own, create your own. And of course, feedback is always good, but based on your intention. What is your intention for that feedback? So make sure that you always keep that in mind when you offer feedback. Okay, so when we talk about goals, there's an acronym that is SMART. So we need to establish, in order to achieve these goals, we need to be smart about it. So here's the acronym SMART. And I didn't create this, and I love acronyms. So when somebody creates an acronym, I'm going to give them credit. I don't know who created it, but I'm going to give whoever created it credit. Okay, so a SMART goal is SMART for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So you normally have different, when you set a goal, those are the things that you keep in mind when you set your goals. So when you have this, like the other day I was in a meeting and they called it a brain dump. I working in the software industry in a previous life. I worked in a software when they had floppy disk. Remember that? And I remember they used to do dumps, and we would giggle. You need to do a dump, but now this is a brain dump. This is more specific. And so so when you do this brain dump of all the things, just write it all down. What are the things you want to create? Write it down. That's step number 2. So the first one is make sure they're smart. Make sure that you're mindful, that mindset that I want to make sure it's specific. I'm going to say it again: measurable, attainable, relevant, and time. So there are certain things like, I want to, first of all, we don't lose weight on the Lillian McDermott radio show. We release it, because what happens when you lose your keys, right? You find them. And so when you lose weight, what do? You find it. We figure out ways, because that's what happens. When we lose something, we want to get it back. So we're going to release it into the universe. Let somebody else pick it up if they want it. But we are in the classroom going to release things. So if you want to release, and that's your goal for this year, whether it's release your job, release your toxic relationship, release your weight, and basically when you want to release weight, I say, I just want to get healthy. Just get healthy. And so when you are healthy, you achieve. And yesterday we did the show on, the being healthy during the holidays and beyond. Exercise is part of that. And so when you are wanting to release weight, let's say I want to lose, like most people say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Well, that right there, I'm going to tell you, is based on what you say and based on the past. If that's how you declare that you want to release weight, it may not help you, because immediately you're going to try to start to find it. You're going to try to start to figure out how, not intentionally, but subconsciously, you will start looking at ways that you can, well, just one cookie, just one day at the gym. I don't need to go at 4 days a week. I can go 3 days a week, which that's good enough. Well, I don't need to go 3 days a week. I can go 2. Maybe it's good enough for you. Maybe you do other things around the house and you have an active life. But sometimes we trick ourselves into, oh, I'm tired this day. Let me hit the snooze. Let me hit the snooze. So when you are setting the goal of, like, let's use that for example, you want to be healthier for the holidays, but what does that look like? Specifically, smart. Okay, specific. I want to, you can fill in the blanks there. I want to release 20 pounds by when? Because it has to be, what am I going to do? I'm going to release weight. Measurable, 20 pounds. Then attainable. Is it attainable? Because I need to know when I want to release it by 6 months. Is that attainable? So you have this conversation with yourself or accountability coach, and you decide, oh, is this attainable? Yes, I'm not starving myself. I'm eating healthy. I am exercising maybe 3 times a week. And the days that I'm not at the gym, I go for a walk or I dance. That's my favorite form of exercise is dancing. So is it relevant for you in your life? Because many people have this goal that, oh, when I retire, I'm going to move to Alaska. When I retire, I'm going to move to Alaska. 30 years later, well, I guess I'm retired. I better move to Alaska. But is that your goal today? Maybe that was your dream back then. So make sure that you are relating to that dream today that was made 30 years ago. When I retire, I'm going to move to the islands. Whatever it is, that you still have to go back and say, is this me? Do I really want to do this? And I've seen people pack everything up without even thinking, moving across to another state. And a week later, they're going, what did I do? So make sure that in every step of the way that you examine yourself to make sure this is what I want to do. This is what I continue. And so you recommit to the commitment. That's why when people make resolutions, they're resolving to, make a quick statement without thinking it through. We're going to think it through. You, I, all of us. We're going to think it through. But I want you to share in the comments section. I want you to share what is your goal or your commitment for 2024. Now, like I said, do that brain dump, write it down, and ask yourself that question. Is it attainable? Is it specific? Is it relevant? Is it time? What's the time limitation? Make sure that you are very aware of what you're committing to. Some people, and I'm one of them, we have a vision board. Now, I created this vision board for a while ago, and I look at it every so often. I just look at it, and I look at it like, oh, I created that. I did that. Oh, I got that. Oh, wow. Without even thinking or try. Well, when you think it, you feel it, you do it. But when I see it, and it just makes me joyful that this is something that I want, then I can see it in the vision board. And I created it. I've shared my vision board with you before. I don't know what class it's in, but if you want to check it out, you're welcome to. What is in your vision board? What are some of the things that you keep kicking the can and kicking the can? How can you stop, pick up the can and say, do I really like this can? Or do I need to create a different kind of can? Or do I want to just get rid of the can? Now, some people get rid of the can because they don't want to do the work. Some people kick the can because they don't want to do the work. And so what I'm asking you to do is be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Create that vision board. How does it resonate? How does it sit with you? Now, if you're in your ego, and of course, the 4 things that you can feel when you're in your ego is, I want to be right. Like, let's say, for example, someone said to you, you'll always be fat. As a child, you were chubby, you will always be fat. So that is a contract that somebody tells you, you internalize it, and then you honor that contract. And you overeat, you don't take care of yourself. Everybody else is important. Does this resonate with you? Does this sound like you? If somebody ever called you ugly or stupid or anything like that, and you were a child, you don't even know that you're still honoring that contract by the way you behave, changing your mindset. So you're being right about what you were told and you made up about it. The second one is being comfortable. Oh, I don't want to get up this morning. I'm so tired. No, get up even if you're tired. Get out of your comfort zone. Or I don't want to go to that party because who am I going to know there at this party? Or what if people don't like me? So I'm not even going to bother. It's called controlled failure. Why even bother? I'm not even going to enjoy myself. I'm just going to stay home in my pajamas. I'm just going to watch television all day. I feel that feels good. But that's being comfortable. That's number 2. I already said being right, being comfortable, looking good. Looking good is, oh yes, this year I'm going to do this and this and that. But yeah, I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to make a plan. I'm not even going to make, go get a membership of whatever it is that I want to do. I won't even do that. That is looking good. I just want to say it so that people think, wow, you got it all together. But you're just saying it because you want to look good. But the ego will say, nah, just stay comfortable. You're right about, yeah, you don't need it. You're right about that. And the last one is being in control. Being in control, like being comfortable can kill you. There are people that are comfortable getting beaten every night. There are people that are comfortable just sitting and eating and binging and feeling horrible about themselves, and they beat themselves up every night. So comfortable can kill you. Then the last of it, okay, being right, looking good, comfortable, and in control. So I wanted to give them in the same way that I was giving it to before. Being in control, like I have to wear the perfect outfit. My hair has to be a certain way. I got to put on my makeup. When you see me at the gym, You probably won't even recognize me. Well, I still have lipstick on, but that's the only thing I put on other than my workout clothes at the gym. I don't have any jewelry on. I don't have any makeup other than lipstick, because I've always say that if you see me out there are two things that you should draw a chalk line around me. One of them, if you're dead, or if you see the bodies that are dead, you draw a chalk line around me, or them. I say that if I ever say that I know it all, I don't need to learn anything, put a chalk line around me. And the other one is, if you see me on the street without lipstick, put a chalk line around me, because I'm dead. So those are some of the things that are constant in my life. They're constant in my life, and they can become constant in your life. And all this BS, you do it for 21 days, and then you'll have well, that's what happens. You're doing it. I've got a goal, 21 days. I'm going to do it for 21 days. No, this is a lifestyle change. Because it's that 21 day or that 30 day, then all of a sudden you completed your contract. After that, what are you going to do? It's a lifestyle choice. That's why it cannot be a resolution. It must be a lifestyle change, whether it's the way you eat, the way you love, the way you work, the way you sleep, the way you drink, whatever it is, those are constants. There's not a goal of like if your goal is to release 30 pounds, then after that goal, there needs to be another goal, and how to maintain that, or how to keep eating the way you're eating so that you can continue releasing weight if you want to release weight, and continue being healthy, building muscle, because you might lose the 30 pounds that you want to release, aka release, but can you build muscle and you look good, muscle weighs more than fat, and all of a sudden, wait, I am gaining weight now. Oh, no, I need to sabotage myself. So those are the ways that I see people sabotaging themselves. And hey, I've done it too. What I see in you, I see in me. I've done it before. So I know that we're all capable of doing this. So being in your ego will keep you from achieving your goals, because the ego does not want you to achieve your goals. Your ego wants you to be miserable, because your ego had purpose. Just like, okay, I'll give you an example. When I was a young mother, and I had purpose. I was mommy, and when the kids were getting, I could predict if someone was going to get hurt, and I could avoid it. I could do all those things as a mommy. When my youngest son, Blake, graduated, like he was in the, I was I was the treasurer for the project graduation for our son. And as we're getting closer to the end, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what's going to happen now? He's my last one that I could tell what to do. What am I going to do now? Who am I? What am I doing? And of course, the housing crisis was happening. All these things were happening. Who am I? Who am I now? Because who I was when I first gave birth to my first child is not the same person who gave birth to their last child, who was watching them graduate. That person is no longer there. Every day, I am a different person. I have consistent values, but I know differently than I did the day before. I maybe have learned, or maybe made a mistake, which I don't believe that there are mistakes. I believe they're growth opportunities. So I'm saying it in your language so you understand how I have changed and adapted my mindset, so that if I have a goal, I don't have an excuse of why I can't achieve the goal. So what is your goal? I'd love for you to share it. Is this resonating with you? Please let me know about it. Please let me know. So then break it down into, break it down, just break it down. Let's say, for example, I'm taking a long trip. We went to North Carolina not too long ago for Brittany's half Ironman. And we thought of breaking the trip down, and driving like 4 hours, and then driving another 4 hours, or another, maybe 5 hours, and then another 5 hours. And well, maybe it was, I can't remember how long it was, but it was a long trip. We thought we were going to stay the night, but my husband said, you know what? It's not in our budget to stay at a hotel. and we made a decision that that wasn't part of our budget. So let's make a different plan. So Robert drove the entire way. We left 5 o'clock in the morning, and we got there like around 1 or 3. I forget how long it was. And we decided that I brought some food for breakfast. And so we worked within our means to do this. Now, I could go and eat at a restaurant, but will there be food? So I require a little bit more planning than Robert would require, because he could go to a restaurant, eat whatever is on the menu, and he's good. Not me. I cannot do that. Not right now. Maybe someday I will. But this is just the parameters that I must work through. And I'm very happy. People go, "Oh, you're allergic to dairy? Oh my gosh. Oh, you can't have wheat or peanuts? I can't believe it." I'm happy with it. I'm great, because I'd rather know and purposely give it up than be sick, have hives, problems with my skin, problems with my stomach. Oh my God, I am so grateful to have found out that I do have that. So it requires me to have a little bit more planning, especially when I'm going to a party or when I go to travel or anything like that. Just know that I'm not the only one. Everybody has parameters too. What are your parameters? What are your parameters that you're willing or unwilling to do? So break it down into, okay, can I do this? Can I do that? Okay, so this is where we start working smart, and we start creating the acronym, which is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. So this is where we take one goal, like write down all your goals. You take one goal, and then you create 3 action plans. So if we're going to go to, like when I went hiking in the mountains, I'd never done that. So part of my breaking down was, researching hiking boots. That was part of me breaking down, being successful at going hiking in a mountain and sleeping in a tent and having a backpack. And the next step was, buying the shoes and then going to the gym and walking in those shoes in the treadmill, and then eventually inclining it. So these are measurable, like today, this is what I'm going to do. And each day, each goal, if I feel better with this 30-pound backpack, first start with a 5-pound, then you put, another 5 pounds on it, and you do it gradually. So your body isn't in total shock because I had 30 pounds of water in my backpack. So those are things that you must do in small bites. And so you prepare yourself for them. So you don't just show up at the mountain barefoot and go, "Ooh, what am I going to do now?" That's what sometimes we do to ourselves. We create a goal, we show up without preparation, and then we become overwhelmed and fearful. Fearful that we can't achieve our goals. I knew this would happen, being right. That's in your ego. Have a contract that'll never amount to much, being right about that. So there's a lot of chatter in our brain that we don't even know is going on. So breaking it down in 3 action, for every goal you have, you write down 3 action items, and those action items may have 3 action items for that too. So break it down so that you can say, okay, I am achieving this goal, and I've got to do these 3 things to achieve this goal so that I can achieve this goal. And I've got it. So I know it might sound complicated, but when you write it down and you can see it, then you're able to follow through with it. Okay, so keep your perspective positive. Keep perspective positive. I could have said, wow, I have never gone hiking. I've never peed in the woods, never done that. And I was not going to do it. I was not going to do it. I was not going to do that. I had never done it. And my goal was not to do it. I hiked for 7 hours and was getting ready to sleep in a tent when my tent mate, my friend, said to me, you can pee now, or you can go in the middle of the night when you might be facing a bear, or I'm like, okay, I'll try it. So I even did a video, Lillian peas in the wood or something like that. If it's had a lot of hits, but so I did a video on it because it was just like, so I actually did it, something I said I would never do. Well, I broke my own promise there because I saw that it was no longer relevant. I needed to make it relevant. And so I had to go pee in the woods. So check out that video where I told Cheryl that because she went off, she says, I'm going to the bathroom. So she went off with toilet paper and I'm like, oh no, I can't even do that. But I started thinking about, yeah, I need to empty my bladder, but it had been 7 or 8 hours and I had not voided. And, but I think I peed it out through my skin. I think my urine, because I sweat more than I had ever sweat. So if I would have shown up with that, with my preconceived notions of what's going to happen, and I'm married to the outcome, then this event wouldn't have been very successful because, but I was really truly in the moment. And at that moment, I knew that if I didn't make that choice now while there was daylight, I was going to regret making the choice later on when there was nighttime. And these are the, okay, what will happen if I do this? What will happen if I do that? Okay, so I'm going to take a little break and I am going to tell you about, so honored with so many of you. And before I tell you about what this scholarship is all about, I want to tell you about some other things that are happening in the classroom. Go to whenyounneedafriend.com. We've had some major issues with the website, and temporarily people have not been able to register. So if you've had registration issues and you've tried registering and you're not getting a confirmation or asking you to opt in, it's because there has been an issue. I will let you know when the issue is resolved. Please subscribe, because it's the only way that you will know where I'm at, what we're doing, what the class is. You'll get, if you want to, if you choose it, if you just want the blogs once a week, you can choose that. But if you want the daily classes to come to you, audio to come to your email, you can listen to it at any time. So go to whenyounneedafriend.com, please subscribe, and I'll keep an eye on it. I'll probably post it on Facebook that that we're able now to, the fix is supposed to come in this week, but I don't know if it has or not. I haven't checked because I want to make sure I did this class with you today. So go to whenyounneedafriend.com, please subscribe, like and follow me on all social media. Check out my sponsors, support my sponsors as they are supporting the classroom. So those are some of the things that are given. Then also go to my Shop Now bag. My Shop Now bag has a combination of affiliates. So if you purchase something on my website, I will get a small percentage, and it goes to investment into the classroom. Whatever we need to do, it is getting more and more costly as we do this. And I need your generosity, your tithing, whatever it is that you can offer to the classroom. I'm very grateful to that. So, so make sure that you like and follow me and do all those things. Follow and support the sponsors. Check out my Shop Now bag. See if there's any products from head to toe that resonate with you. Let's say you're in pain and you want to be pain-free. We're going to start doing more classes on Avasia because I just was there this last week. This last weekend I was there and learned all sorts of things that I can do on myself and my family, my friends, and so that don't have anything to do with taking a pill. You know, my registered service market is you could take a pill or you could take responsibility. But I have wonderful products that are Lilly approved, so check them out. Last but not least, you can become an enrolled student in the classroom, and whether it's $1 or $1,000 a month. And I want to thank you for those of you who donated $1. If that's what you can afford, the Widow's Mite, that is, I am so grateful to you, and I am so thankful that you cared enough to donate. And so do whatever you can. As we're going towards the end of the year, we're facing goals for the following year. We don't know what that's going to look like right now. We have to look at our finances. So please help the classroom grow. Another way that I want to tell you that we have the I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit coming on February 3rd. So if you're in Florida or want to drive to Florida or come to Florida, February 3rd, 2024, we have before December 31st, you are able to get $24 off the VIP, and that's the first that sells out, because that's what we did last year. The first to sell out is the VIP, and then also the general admission. You get $24 off if you register before 12/31/2023. So that's your discount. You can get a discount then. Another thing that I want you to know that's going on in the classroom is that you can, and I have shared before, that we have Dr. Day's DVDs, and many have texted me and saying, thank you for letting us know. We did not know that this was going on. We have the 100 lessons from the Exodus, and we also have the Book of Revelation with Dr. Lorraine Day. One of my proudest things that I've done with her. I was so grateful that we got to do this together. We became really good friends through this. And so if you would like to purchase a DVD, we also have it online. Now, I said yesterday in the classroom that we are giving away, in honor of Dr. Day, I am giving away the 100 lessons. So this one's wrapped. It's ready for you. You need to text me at 407-373-5959 or Lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. For people that are in the United States, we will send this to you, not a problem. But if you are out of the country, you need to pay for your shipping if you want a DVD, or I will give you a free online if that's what you would like. The giveaway is going to be December 20th. That is the date of my last class that I'm going to be doing for 2023. And so I will reach out to you. So get your name in the winner's basket, and on December 20th, I will pick a name. Now, if you do not get to win the DVD, I had a conversation with a beautiful, beautiful listener, follower, not just of the classroom, but of Dr. Lorraine Day. She found me through Dr. Lorraine Day, and many of you have found me through her, and some of you and many of you have found her through me. Dr. Day and I were good friends, and so we did a lot of things together virtually. We would have girly girl time and all that. So that showed, the love that we had for each other showed. Many times people would say, wow, I can't imagine her doing girly girl things with you. Well, we did, and we giggled like little girls. And so this person had purchased something that was no longer available, and it was pretty substantial. But they decided they were going to get something else, which was about the same price, and then the difference was going to be a contribution to the classroom. And I thought that was very, very generous. But then they called me back. I'll say she, because you don't know who it is. So she called me back and she said, Lily, I was in prayer. That money, I want to donate more, and I'm going to make it a certain amount. And the number was 507. That was the number that came to her. And I want you to use that money as a scholarship to help people that would like to buy the Book of Revelation or the new 100 lessons from the Exodus. This is a great story. This is a great story. I mean, I'm almost in tears of their generosity. First, they were trying to buy something for themselves. Then they bought something for themselves, but then they wanted me to keep the difference as a donation. And then they came back and said, I just want to give it to someone, and this is the purpose that I want for it. And so here's what's going to happen. If you want a DVD and you cannot afford the full price of $105, then there's a $50 off. It's $50 off until the money is gone. Once the scholarship is done, it's done. So that would be, I think, almost a 50% off, a little, of that. And then if you want to get the online version, there's $25 off of that. So that'll be part of the scholarship. If you can afford to pay the full price, then pay the full price. Do that. But if you cannot, and it's not in your budget, part of your goals, not part of your budget, then please take advantage. Let me know that you would like to take advantage of the scholarship. Once the money is gone, it's gone. But I just want you to know that this is something that if you've been making an excuse that, oh, I can't afford it, hey, that is done. You know, if this will help you, but if this is still not enough to help you, you know, and there's enough money, we'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. But so Dr. Day had a belief, and this is so funny. She would say to me, don't give away the DVDs, don't give away the classes. And because what you give away, people don't appreciate. But then she turns around and she was doing the classes, she was doing the Bible studies herself. Anyway, so we had a good laugh about that. Anyway, so just know that the scholarship money will be available until it's gone. And once it's gone, it's gone. But thank you so much. You know who you are. I love you. That was very sweet of you. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of the classroom. And so I just want to go and continue. Maybe I'll recap at the end once I get done. So identify potential obstacles. So that's one of them. So we talked about taking actions and doing it, creating those steps, but not just creating the steps and actionable items. Now you need to do it. You get to show up and get to do it. Do whatever it takes to achieve what you want legally, honestly, and with integrity. I just want to make sure that's my little disclaimer. So set, I talked about before, I talked about the scholarship and the giveaway and everything that's happening in the classroom. The I Am the Solution Natural Health Summit. Before I did that, I said, you know, you got to stay positive, keep your mindset, you know, because sometimes we beat ourselves up. Oh, I knew I'd fail. Again, that's part of the ego. You have a contract, an unwritten contract. If you want coaching on this, I can help you rewrite the program that drives your positive mindset. Okay, so identify potential obstacles. And this is why I want to talk about Tim Ferriss. This is something that we don't do. We don't identify obstacles. We hide from the obstacles. We avoid the obstacles. And as a result, we don't do what we really want to do. You know how many people have, like myself included, I want to finish a book and I need to get that. I remember talking to Dr. Day. She goes, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You will know when that time comes, you will get that inspiration. Okay, I got it. It's almost there. and it's written, parts are written, but there's more. My story isn't ready to be written yet. I'm okay with that. But there are people that are in constant battle with these obstacles. So this is why I want to talk about identify the potential obstacles and figure out ways that you can work around these obstacles. Work around these obstacles and identify them. So you define them, you figure out how you can prevent them, and then if something happened, it was a growth opportunity or something that didn't go as planned, how to repair it. So that's what it's called fear setting. So if you set your goals and you're okay with these obstacles and you say, oh, I can work around these obstacles, which happened to me when I was hiking. There were branches and limbs and I had my little sticks and I was able to work around my obstacles. And it was like a metaphor. Going up this mountain was like a metaphor for me, a giant metaphor of, wow, sometimes we go around it, we go above it, we go below it, we go, you know, these are obstacles that keep us from our goals. Just visualize what they are. Now, if you are fearful, there are things that you can do. You can define what you're fearful about. You can figure out what you can do to prevent it, write those goals down. What can I do to prevent the thing from happening? And if it happens, how do I repair it? So I'm fearful this is going to happen, but now I'm going to create things so that it doesn't happen. I'm going to prevent it. But I wake up in the morning and everything's hit the fan. It's hit for the fan. And now you now need to repair it. How can I repair it? What's the worst case scenario? Because I always say, if you're going to think about the worst case scenario, then you do what I say, which is equal opportunity, scenario builder, what could go wrong? Equal opportunity, what could go right? That's when you're able to set your goals and work around it and know this is what I'm going to do. That's when you do the setting and write it down, acknowledging. But if you're fearful of it and all of a sudden there's avoidance where you can't even get out of bed, this will help you. This helped Tim Ferriss. He learned how to do this from his own knowing, from his own problems with fear, where he was a successful person that couldn't even get out of bed just in case those what ifs were keeping him in bed. So what if? What if this happens? I know how to prevent it and I know how to repair it. Now, what else is your obstacle? Okay. So be accountable. Number 9. So I'm giving you about 10. Be accountable. Be accountable with what you're saying. Now, don't be talking about, oh yes, I'm going to be a millionaire by the end of the year. And you're telling everybody, and at the end of the year, people are going, oh, so are you a millionaire, huh? So then you start blaming everything and everyone that why you're not a millionaire because you spoke too soon. Now, there are people in your life that are mentors, they're accountability partners, they're coaches, they're therapists, they're your best friend, they're your parents sometimes that are successful, and you want to know how did they do it. Interview the people. Think and Grow Rich is a great book that I read. I interviewed the grandson of oh gosh, the name escapes me right now, but I'll remember it. I will remember it maybe after the class is done, but I'll remember it because I remember everything. That's a mantra I say. Okay, so it could be a friend, someone that you perceive as they really do follow they have integrity, they honor their commitment and their word. So get them to just tell them and say, let's go back and forth. What do you think? And, how would you do this? And figure out how you would do it and how it would work with you. These are all things that you can do prior to achieving your goal or starting your goals, but creating yourself a path for success. That's what I'm talking about. And last, always reflect and adjust. Reflect and adjust. How did this work? How did this make me feel? What were some of the things that I did and I knew I had to do, but I didn't do it as graciously as I could have done? So reflecting, journaling on it, creating something different and new. If you are married to the outcome, whatever that outcome is, if you are married to the outcome and you don't care what happens and what you've learned along the way, because you might create, and when I say you, I mean the God in you and you will create a much better solution to whatever you thought, because now you've gone through the journey. Now, if you say, oh, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, and all these things, then maybe you will miss out on an opportunity to make it better, to make it easier, to make it relatable, to make it whatever it is that the components of that, whatever it is that you're trying to make. When you stop and you reflect, what are my gifts and lessons? How did I create this? What am I going to do differently? How I'm going to help others in the process? Those are the 4 questions of responsibility. But you can ask yourself questions like, how did this work out? How did it feel? What were the results of whatever I did? And if you start looking at that, not to criticize it, but to gather information that make you say, I wonder if I were to do it this way, the outcome of what my goal is would be better, best serving me, best serving others. I wonder if that would be the case. And then you readjust and you do whatever it takes to realign your intention with what you want. These are quickly 10 things that I was sharing with you. Just, have SMART goals, write them down, make your goals visible in a vision board, break it down into small, break it down in what you want to achieve. And then after you do that, you make a plan and you write 3 action plans for everything that you're doing. You take action. Don't just talk about it. You do it. each day, write down what you are doing. When I write down, I don't have it with me right now, but when I write down what are my things that I'm going to do the next day before I go to bed, I am so much more successful. If I want to go to the gym and I bring my clothes out and I got my sneakers, my headset, my water, everything is ready to go. All I have to do is put it on, wake up, put it on, and get out the door. I am much more apt to go to the gym than if I just go, if I feel better. There are times where I say, if I wake up at a certain time, I will go. There are other times where I say, I'm going to wake up, set my alarm, get the clothes out, do whatever it is, and we will adjust to what it is what my intention is. So we need to do it. Keep a perspective, a positive perspective. Be mindful of what you're doing and how it's helping others or maybe hurting others. There's two sides of that. Do an obstacle. What are your obstacles? And you can be an equal opportunity. What could go wrong or what could go right. Do both scenarios because that's important too. Be an equal opportunity of what could go wrong and right, and then identify. Then become accountable. Have an accountability partner, and last, be reflective. Reflect and adjust. That is it for now. That is it. So what are you going to do? Is this making sense to you? Does it? Because not everybody knows how to follow a goal. Not everybody was taught to do this. And some do it instinctively and others do not. So if you need help, reach out to me at whenyouneedafriend.com. Once again, get yourself in the winner's basket. I'm going to be giving away 100 lessons from the Exodus. If you want to be able to get a scholarship, let me know about it. Thank you so much. You know who you are for giving us the scholarship, and do the best that you can. Always be impeccable with your word. Always. And if you're not, think about why not. And what was the story in your head that made you do what you didn't want to do? And now you're beating yourself up. It's time to stop that pattern. Create a new story. Doesn't matter what you've done in the past. It's what you get to do now. Be part of the 8%. I know I will be. Will you? Join me. Join me. And sometimes I'm not part. Sometimes I'm part of the 92%. But this time, depending on the goal, when I achieve it, when I see it, I will achieve it, because God created you to be created. But to be a creator as well. And God is in you, and you can do all things with God, who gives you strength with Christ. And so please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before